Welcome everyone to the Passion for Plexus Tribe team Zoom call. This is like a huge, huge day and an honor. We have Kristine with us, Diamond Kristine, and I actually met her at the pool in Orlando at Leaders Retreat, and I was silver. And what were you?
I was senior gold.
She was senior gold, now diamond. And she always just resonated in my heart, and we've been chatting, and she wanted to pour into you guys because she's thebomb.com. And so she's going to pray over us and then pour her amazing knowledge and wisdom into us, and then we'll do a little Q&A afterwards.
Absolutely. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, pray with me. Father, thank you so much for this amazing team that I'm going to share my heart with tonight. God, I pray that they would just find a piece, a nugget in something that I say. I pray that I would breathe belief into them, Father, and that you would just bless their businesses. God, we know that you are in control of this entire thing, and that Plexus is such a blessing, and it's our job to share that with the world. Father, I pray that you would just speak through me tonight, that they would see that I'm a genuine, real person, and that, again, they would just take away those things that they need to hear, that they need to apply to their own businesses. And I pray that in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thanks, girl.
Amen.
Oh my goodness, there are some pretty people on your team, girl. Pretty people. Well, you guys must be drinking the pink drink. You're like glowing. Okay, so I am just going to start by sharing a little bit of my story with you guys so you feel like you have a connection with me before I start being bold and sharing from my heart with you. So I signed up for a discount in March of 2014. I was never going to tell anybody anything about Plexus. I signed up for weight loss. I had no idea that there was anything that was to do with health at all. And I didn't even know that I needed health results. I had no idea how sick I really was until I started Plexus. So I am a former Weight Watchers leader. I have been a lifetime member for 25 years, and I was completely and 100% focused on food all the time, every day, every meal, how many points I had left, how many points I was going to have for the weekend. I mean, it just was an obsession. And so my purpose in signing up for Plexus was to get my products cheaper, because I'm a bargain shopper, and I still am, even as a Diamond Ambassador. Love me a good deal. And so I signed up for the discount and just really wasn't expecting it to work for me, just to be honest with you. And immediately within the first 7 days, I started seeing some definite visual changes, not anything on the scale, but just visual changes. And my hip and knee discomfort went away. And it had been a chronic problem for me. I was a kindergarten teacher and had been teaching at that point 18 years, and was that teacher who would get up off the floor and hobble across the floor like an 80-year-old woman. So just that piece of a result was huge for me. I also suffered with major migraines, and I'm going to not be complaining on here because I want you guys to know like the results that I had. But I had major migraines for many, many years. And in fact, they were so bad that they were triggered by my hormones. And so I went and had an ablation to help them. And about 3 years into my ablation, they came back. So didn't think Plexus would help with that. But I've only had 2 migraines in the 25 months that I've been on Plexus, and those were within the first 6 months before I got my gut balanced. I had been on blood pressure medicine for 7 years, and 3 months into my journey with Plexus, I was able to go off my medicine. I'm off all medications. I was a chronic sufferer with UTIs and sinus infections. Every other month I was at the doctor on antibiotics. You know what that does to the gut. And so I want to tell you that the weight loss became secondary. And the reason why I tell you that is because some of you are sitting there and you're thinking, I'm not losing the weight that I plan to lose on Plexus. And you've got to realize that there's so much more to this whole thing, the weight loss. I did lose 2 sizes. I didn't lose very many pounds, but I did lose 2 sizes with Plexus. And that was pretty early on, and I pretty much maintained that since the beginning. But I realized that the world is suffering with chronic illness, chronic health issues that are keeping them from being productive citizens. And it became my responsibility. It just became a passion for me to help other people. And so that is what propelled me to go on Facebook 7 days into my journey and start telling people, like, I don't have hip and knee discomfort anymore, and my face looks thinner, and it's only been 7 days. I'm not craving carbs and sugars and all those things. So when people say, did you sign up for the business? The answer is absolutely no. I've never done any type of network marketing. I didn't even know there was such a thing as an MLM. I had to literally Google what that meant when people started talking about it. And I had no desire to sell products. Crazy thing is I still have no desire to sell products. What I have a desire for is helping and loving other people. When you make that your focus, you will succeed in this business. It's when you try to become a salesperson that a lot of people get frustrated. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm the least pushy person you will ever meet. I literally don't like to send my meal back at a restaurant if I don't like it, because I'm afraid that might hurt somebody's feelings. Like, that's my personality. So know this, you're listening to somebody who doesn't know how to sell anything. I'm not pushy. It took me a long time to get over follow-up because I was afraid that I was offending people or bothering them. And so I had to get outside my comfort zone. But I'm telling you all of that because I'm going to start talking to you about my 3 points. I'm very structured, and I have to tell you that I'm going to be very structured tonight because of my teaching background. I taught kindergarten for 19 years, and fun fact, it came up on my little time hop today. This day, 2 years ago, I had been in Plexus for about 2.5 months, and I had 30 people on my team, and I was a silver ambassador. And 1 year ago, on this exact day, I had 750 people on my team, and I was an emerald ambassador. And today, I am a diamond ambassador, and I have over 4,000 people on my team. I tell you that, not to brag, because it doesn't have anything to do with me. It's my amazing team that has done that. I tell you that because you can have the exact same experience. So we're going to talk about 3 things. Belief, we're going to talk about sacrifice, and we're going to talk about how to handle naysayers. And I do have notes. Again, it's that teaching background. So a year ago, when I went Emerald, I decided that I was going to walk away from my teaching career. I left my very best friend in the whole world teaching, who used to teach 21 inches apart from me. I left her at school and moved out of my classroom and became a stay-at-home mom. And this business has given me dreams I didn't know were even possible. There's people that wish their whole life they could be a stay-at-home mom. I wasn't that person because I didn't think I ever could. So it was like not on the radar. And as I began to build my business and I began to see my teaching salary easily replaced, and let me just clarify, I'm in Oklahoma. It's real easy to replace a teaching salary when you're 50th in the nation. But I did replace it pretty early on. And I started seeing like what I could do for my family. And I also knew that if I quit my full-time job, I would have more time for my team, and I would have the ability to be there for them when they needed me. So quit teaching June the 1st of 2015, left my best friend teaching, and she became my biggest why, which was to get her retired. And last week, she walked away from her 21-year teaching career to become a stay-at-home mom. And now we will be doing this business together full-time. So I'm pretty excited about that. There's 3 things that helped us both do that. The first thing is belief. If you do not have belief, first of all, in yourself, then we have to work on that. That's the first thing that you have to work on. You have to be able to look in that mirror and say to yourself, you can do this. You're never quitting. You're not going to give up. I tell my team all the time, the only way to fail in Plexus is to quit. If you don't quit, you will not fail. Timelines are not the important part. It is having a goal and working to reach it. So you've got to have that belief in yourself. You've got to never give up no matter what. And then you have to believe in our products. You have to know that they change lives. Are you going to go share with somebody that you don't know in public, or with somebody that you love and care about about products that you're not sure that work, you're not going to do it with great passion and conviction. So you've got to have that 100% belief in our products. Third, you have to have 100% belief in our company. We have just gone through chaos with the back office. I mean, I could sit here and go, oh, it's amazing, and look what it's a lie, okay? We've been through chaos. We have gone through a dark tunnel, folks, but we are on the other side. If we can go through that, if you've been with us since October, you know that we can get through anything because we've already been through a huge valley, but we are not in a valley any longer. So you've got to believe in our company. They always do what's right. They always make things right, and I've never seen them not do it in 25 months. So I'm telling you, I guess it's 26 months. I'm telling you that you have to have belief in yourself, belief in the products, belief in the company. And once you have that, you're ready to build a business because you're ready to share with passion and conviction. So my next topic is sacrifice. It's not a popular topic. Nobody wants to talk about how difficult it can be on the road to success. But the truth of the matter is that sacrifice is necessary. Now, I'm not going to tell you to sacrifice more than you're willing to sacrifice. It's an individual thing. But don't sit there and be frustrated when you see somebody who's ranking up every other month, every 3 months, every 4 months. You see them promoting through the company, and you're unwilling to do the things that they're doing. That's so often the case. You know, I hate the word discouraged. Discouraged is an evil word as far as I'm concerned, because one of my quotes is, you're only discouraged if you choose to be. You have to set that goal, and then you have to adjust that timeline according to what you're willing to sacrifice. So what am I going to suggest that you sacrifice? Well, first of all, you have to get to events. Events are where leaders are born. They're where belief is founded. It's where the passion is driven. And why is that? It's because you're in a group, whether it's a small group or a large group, of people that are like-minded, who already have that belief and passion, who are going to fuel your fire. So I don't know how many of you guys I'm going to get to see at convention, but I'm pretty excited about it. I didn't go my first year. It's been one of the biggest regrets that I've had in my entire Plexus journey. I'd only been an ambassador for 2 months. I had no idea it was a big deal. I thought it was just a rah-rah session, and that's not what convention is. It's a lot of training, and it's fuel for your fire. And it was the last 2 days of the school year, and I just couldn't leave my kindergarten students. But if I had known then what I know now, I would not have missed that. I would have sacrificed the last 2 days of school to be there. I think my journey would have been even faster, and I'm fine with the timeline that it's been on, but it would have been even faster if I'd gone to convention. Because my first real event was Leaders Retreat in the fall of 2014, where I met Rachel. So, you know, it's amazing to look back on that time and see how far I've come. But I know this, if I had not been at that Leaders Retreat, I would not be sitting here today, because I would have not had the belief in myself and in the company. If I had not built some relationships with the people that I built at that Leaders Retreat, I had never had the opportunity to go to any other event other than just like a little church meeting. So that's where you saw the leaders. You saw people that were passionate about our company, and you had people that really spoke belief to you. You know, there's certain people that just stick with you, and your leader is one of those. She is genuine. She's passionate. I knew from the moment I first spoke to her, even though I was a senior gold ambassador, I knew that she would be a diamond with this company. And she is a diamond. She's just a couple points short. So remember that and follow her, because she is doing whatever it takes to be an amazing leader and to forge the path for all of you guys. So you need to follow what she's doing. You need to duplicate her, because she's amazing. Okay. So get to events. I don't care if you have to drive to get to an event an hour out of your way. I don't care. I don't care if you have to miss something like a dinner with your family. That's going to be necessary if you are planning to shorten your timeline, if you're planning to promote. If you're good with being Emerald in 10 years, then maybe you can skip a couple of events. But if you want to be Emerald, if you want to be Sapphire and Diamond in a shorter time period, like let's say 2 to 3 years, you're not going to miss events. You're going to get there, even though you have to sacrifice. You know, people ask me all the time, it's one of my biggest questions I get is, how did you build this business? And how did you go emerald while working a full-time job and being a mom? How did you do that? And I'm going to be honest, one thing, sacrifice. I sacrificed, and I had a policy with myself that I did not use excuses. I used every personal day that I had to drive outside of my state to go hold meetings for my team. I have 3 separate teams, big teams in Alabama. I live in Oklahoma. It's about a 10-hour drive one way. And I used personal days to go and drive there. Martin Luther King Day was one of them. I took that Friday off from school, and I went with my best friend, and we drove to Alabama, and we did our very first meeting. It was when I had just gone Ruby, and I had to do it. You know what? I missed my kids being off of school on that Monday, but my kids will tell you, both of my girls will tell you today, that every sacrifice, anything I missed, family dinners, going to the zoo with them during that year that I was building my team and trying to get to Emerald, they will tell you it was worth it. Now they have their mama full time, and I am there every day for them. So you've got to make some sacrifices. A couple of sacrifices here and there will not be detrimental to your relationships. I'm just telling you. And I use my favorite quote all the time with my team. A year or two or a few years of sacrifice for a lifetime of freedom is a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer. So get to events, travel to your team. I already said I did that. This is what I say so often when I'm training. If your team is not local to you, they're not in your state, that's not their fault. Okay, so don't hold that against them. Get to where they are. Zooms are awesome. Technology is awesome, but there's no substitution for in-person. People need to see you. They need to touch you. They need you to love on them. They need you to breathe belief into them. So get to your teams, no matter where they are, make that sacrifice, and I promise you it will be worth it. My team, my leaders have duplicated me over and over again with that. And I have 3 emeralds under me. I have my best friend who's traveled with me. I have my husband, and I have my childhood best friend who lives in Arizona, and she has duplicated that. She has teams in Indiana and Illinois, and she travels to them. I have a couple of other amazing leaders who are senior Ruby, and same situation. They're traveling to Oregon, to Massachusetts, to Wisconsin, wherever they have to go from Oklahoma to get there and breathe belief into their team. So I urge you. It's something that you don't hear a lot about. I haven't heard a lot of Jules talk about travel, but for me, it's been instrumental in my success. The last thing on sacrifice is be available to your team. There's a lot of talk among Jules about having business hours, and business hours have not worked for me because I don't like to be tied down to a schedule. I was tied down to a schedule for 19 years, and I don't want to say I'm working today from 10 to 3 because something might come up. So I don't have business hours. Instead, I just tell my team that I will respond to them, get to them as quickly as I can, and they would tell you that I am very available. I message with all of my levels. I believe in treating all levels under me the same. Even if I'm not paid on them, I still treat them the same, and I do contests for all different levels. I don't say, well, only certain levels can earn something. That's just not something that I do. I've been told that I'm crazy to do that because it means that I'm literally paying out for other people. But for me, I believe that God blessed me, and therefore I need to be a blessing to others. And if I can do that with my team, then I want to do that, something that's important to my heart. So the last thing I want to talk about before I take your questions, and if you don't have questions yet, be thinking, you can ask me absolutely anything. I am an open book. I will tell you anything. So the last thing is how to deal with naysayers. You know, I'm pretty passionate about that because you would think in the field of education that you would be with all supportive and encouraging people because that's what teachers are. We are encouragers. We are supporters. But the truth of the matter is the biggest naysayers in my journey have been my teaching colleagues. And I've taken a lot of flack for leaving education. I've had family members that have also given me a lot of flack for that as well. They feel like I'm not using my degree. They clearly don't understand what Plexus is because I get to teach every day, just like what I'm doing here. But I have had a lot of people that have unfriended me on Facebook. I had one of my, what I thought was one of my closest friends who I taught with for my entire career, all but 2 years. I had taught her children in kindergarten. We had a really strong friendship, or so I thought. And the day, well, really when I started Plexus, she started kind of pulling back from me. And I never really pushed her into Plexus, or she never has done Plexus. And I never even encouraged her to really take the products because I knew that she would just put up the wall. But she knew I was doing Plexus. She knew I was successful. But the day that I walked away from teaching and I announced on Facebook that I had retired on June the 1st, she blocked and defriended me from Facebook. I've not seen her, talk to her since then. She continues to say negative things about me and that I have walked away from teaching. But you know what? I want you guys to think about this quote. It's one that has really kept me sane through all of that. And that is that someone else's opinion of you is none of your business. It doesn't matter what she thinks about me. It doesn't matter if she supports or doesn't support what I do, or that she thinks that I should be back in the classroom. What matters is the path that God has placed you on. And you alone know in your heart if you are where you need to be and if you are being led down the right path. So I knew that God had placed me on this journey because of the people that I've been able to help, the relationships that I've had rekindled, that childhood best friend that's an emerald in Arizona. I hadn't seen her since I was 14 until last convention when I flew to Phoenix and she met me at the airport. I know that relationship was supposed to be rekindled, and Plexus is how it happened. And I have so many situations just like that on my team and even outside of my team where friendships have been developed that I never otherwise would have had if it wasn't for Plexus. So you cannot worry about what your family and friends say. And I'm going to be this bold to tell you that if somebody in your life does not think you're crazy, you are not doing this business right. You need to have that much passion, that much conviction, that people wonder if you're still sane. And once they try Plexus and once they join you on the journey, they'll realize that you are exactly where you need to be. But you can't convince a bunch of people who are determined to misunderstand you and your intentions. So I know it's easy for me to sit here and say with words, don't worry about those people. But I am telling you, and I haven't said this yet, but my best friend, she's my first ambassador. When I told her I was going to sign up for Plexus, she told me I was stupid. Those are the words she used. She said, you're stupid. You are a Weight Watchers leader. You have been a lifetime member. You know how to maintain your weight. You are stupid to sign up for these products that are never going to work. But she became my first ambassador, and she's now an Emerald today. My husband signed up with me, 2 months into the journey. I told him he was signing up. Chris McCall had a conversation with him and told him, you're going to support your wife and you're going to sign up. He did not have a Facebook. It was against his religion to have a Facebook or any type of social media. He barely knows how to check his email today, but he is learning. And I signed him up, and he told me that I would never be successful because I don't know how to sell anything and because I'm not pushy. And he was like, you're just not going to ever be successful selling this little pink drink. And it wasn't until I became a Ruby that he thought, well, maybe she doesn't need to go to the insane asylum. Those were his words. Like, he really thought I was crazy until about the time I went Ruby. So my best friend thought I was stupid. My husband thought I was crazy. And all these people in my life looked at me and questioned my integrity, questioned what I was doing and why I was doing it. And you know what? It made my resolve stronger. It made me dig deeper. It made me decide that I would never stop until I proved them wrong. And I can tell you, as a Diamond Ambassador, I think I have proven that I was right, that Plexus is real, and that this opportunity is for any person, no matter what your personality is, no matter what your talents are, no matter what your strengths or weaknesses are. You can do this business and you can do it well. You have to have belief. You have to be willing to make sacrifices, and you have to stop worrying about what the people around you think and say about your journey. Because when God puts you on a path It doesn't matter what anyone else says. You know that you're doing the right thing. So Rachel, tell me if you want to ask me questions, if you want to open it up to your people, whatever. I am an open book, and I am impressed with myself that I did that in 30 minutes, just so we're clear.
I mean, that was amazing. Nailed it, killed it, inspired. I've got like notes that I took, you know. I mean, you're just amazing. Yeah, y'all. So she's a teacher, right? So if you have questions for her, she's going to teach you things. It's not just going to be like a generic answer. She's going to school you and help you grow. So please ask her questions, because this is an amazing opportunity to have a diamond to ask questions to.
I got to say this before the questions come. This was a real experience. I don't usually talk about this, but I feel real comfortable with y'all. So I'm just going to tell you. Last year at convention, I was in the elevator going down in my hotel. We had to wear our little lanyards, and mine had an emerald on it. I had a little emerald thing. And there were people in the elevator who were like, oh my gosh, we're in the presence of a jewel. And I have to tell you guys how uncomfortable that made me. I am just a regular girl from Oklahoma, from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. There's nothing extra special about me at all. So don't feel intimidated to ask me questions, because I've been where every single one of you are. We all start with one ambassador. We all start silver, then gold, then senior gold. We all go through the same ranks. So feel comfortable. Don't feel intimidated. I want you guys to get whatever you came to get tonight. I want you to leave with it. So
I have a question.
yes.
So I've been a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. Not by choice, kind of had to because my son had some medical issues. But so I'm going back to work in August as a teacher's aide, so that I'll be off when he's off. But how did you work your business when, I mean, you can't get on your phone during the day? Did you literally do everything at night?
That's a great question. I got up, and I've been asked this so many times, I have it like down to a fine art. I got up every day an hour earlier than I typically ever did before Plexus. And I would answer all of my team's questions that I had received from the night before. And then I would go to school. I worked through my lunch every single day. I didn't even go to the lounge. I just sat at my desk and worked on my phone and while I was eating my lunch. And then during my planning period, if I had an urgent question or something, then I would answer it then. And I was the kind of teacher, I'm a nationally board certified teacher. I have my own store on TT, all of that stuff. If any of you are teachers, you know what that means. I was so passionate about what I did. I was not a get to school when it started and leave when it's over teacher. I worked during the weekends. And that's the one thing I had to change when I decided to build this business. So I stopped staying till 5 o'clock every night, and I started going home at 4, and I would work my business. And I'm going to be honest with you, my husband just knew. I would come home and I would cook dinner just like a regular mom, and I'd start laundry, and then I would disappear for about an hour and a half every single night working my business. Now, here's the key thing. Weekends is where I really got my time in. And I will be really frank and honest with you guys. I worked about 35 to 40 hours a week on Plexus while I was teaching a full-time job. So when I'm talking about sacrifice, it took sacrifice. Now, I could have done it differently and not work those hours. I don't think I would be a diamond today. I think I would probably maybe just be reaching emerald at this point. But, you know, it's up to you what your timeline is. So a lot of time on weekends I spent working my business, reaching out to people, following up with people, doing garage sale sites. I did a lot of garage sale sites at the beginning, those kind of things. So yeah, a lot at night and a lot on the weekends.
Will you talk more about your list? Because remember that video that you did? It was like right before you went Sapphire, after you went Emerald, and you're like, this is how you go Emerald. And you talked about the specific things that you sacrificed, like, you know, the TV, the time with friends, like the money.
Oh yeah, there's like hilarious, like I laugh at people that watch TV now. Like, I don't even know what the shows are. They're like, have you seen this or that? I think there's something called Chicago Fire. I don't even know what this stuff is, okay? My family watches TV. I used to have an addiction. I can't believe I'm admitting this. I used to have an addiction to Young and the Restless. Like, I watched it since I was in high school, and I had it recorded. And so I would watch it every night, and you could fast forward through the commercials, and I could get it done in 40 minutes. I have no idea what's going on with Young and the Restless. And I don't even have a full-time job anymore, but I don't have time to do that because you know what? That's not paying my bills. It's not impacting my business. So I just cut out TV completely. You know, time with friends is important. Like, I don't encourage you like just to stop seeing your friends, but see your friends and work your Plexus business at the same time. Like, go out with your Plexus peeps, and that will fire you up and encourage you. I love going to opportunity events. I love going to trainings with my friends. And so I found that the people who made me better were those people that I wanted to spend time with. And so I just kind of carved it out. And, you know, there's other ways. They have online grocery shopping now where you can order it and go pick it up. That will carve an hour and a half out of your, well, at least for me, an hour and a half out of your day, out of your week. Just go pick up the groceries instead of shopping at the store. So, I mean, look at time management. And I encourage you not to spend 2 hours scrolling through Facebook and liking pictures and commenting. You know, designate 15 minutes of your day and go scroll through and build relationships and maintain relationships. But then get down to the business of training yourself. I mean, I am huge into training still. I still watch training videos almost every single day. And I watch all different types of people. So not just people in Plexus. I go on and I look at network marketing, and I really just watch a whole different bunch of people and gain nuggets from all of them. I really am strong into personal development. I think if you're not reading a personal development book, you need to be. So get one. If you've not read GoPro and you don't understand network marketing, that is the first book to start with. I read it cover to cover on the plane to Maui last year. I'm a teacher. I hate reading. I have never done that in my entire life, sat down and read a book cover to cover. It has never occurred until I read GoPro. It is that compelling. So get that book. But yeah, you have to make sure that you're doing IPA. Those income producing activities is what's going to grow your business. So make sure that if you're spending time on Plexus, make sure that you're doing something that's helping your business grow or that's helping you grow personally.
So can you take your IPA a little further and tell us what you do for your IPA every day?
Well, I will be honest with you. I've done the 5-3-1 method for a long time. That is reach out to 5, follow up with 3, train 1. That's what 5-3-1 is. But it got to be really overwhelming. 26 months in, you know, that's really hard to do on a daily basis. So now my goal is to do that on a weekly basis. Like, I had an epiphany at some point, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's no law that says I have to do 5-3-1 every day. What if I did it every week? So you're going to get to a place in your business where you're going to just kind of change things up. So that's something that I do. I do personal development every day, whether that be watching a video or reading part of my book. So every day I'm trying to do that. I'm reaching out to people and following up. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people forget that they're also supposed to follow up with their ambassadors. They're so concerned with those customers and follow up. Don't leave your ambassadors out. You've got to follow up with those people, make sure that they're doing well. If they're silent, they're not connected to you. You've got to reach out to them, follow up with them, make sure that they're doing well. And here's the thing, this is why people are scared to follow up. They're afraid that their ambassador is going to say they're not liking their product, or they're getting ready to turn off their auto ship, or they're scared to follow up because they're afraid of what that ambassador is going to say. So be ready to meet those objections. Be ready to say, oh, you say you're not having weight loss results? Well, tell me what you're eating for breakfast. Tell me how much water you're drinking. And it's a lot of the phrasing I found that really makes a difference. You don't ask someone, are you drinking water? Okay, because they're going to say yes. You ask them, how much water are you drinking? So then a lot of them are going to say a lot. You're going to say, how many ounces are you drinking? So you are getting clarification, because then they're thinking, I don't think I'm drinking enough water, because you've now prompted them with that kind of an open-ended question. So it's in the questioning. I think that's my teaching background, but that's okay. So it's in the questioning. It's following up the ambassadors. They're saying, well, you know, I just don't have the money this month, so I was thinking about turning off my AQ. And you say, well, you know what? If you would go and get 3 ambassadors, sign them up and get them to silver, and you will get a $100 bonus. And you're going to make building bonuses on those welcome packs. And, you know, you're going to be able to pay for your own products. So we need to get you plugged in so that you don't have to worry about affording your products, because your products are going to be paid for based on your own work. So it's it's being able to meet those objections when they happen instead of being scared to even reach out and contact them. So those are some examples of my IPA.
That's good. I mean, Kimberly is senior Ruby, and we don't have any rubies besides her, and most people are silver, gold, and senior gold. So the IPA, of course, is different definitely for me. I can't do 531 every day. But for Kimberly too, but I feel like the silver and the golds and the senior golds, like, you know, even 221 every day is great. We do IPA threads, and I feel like that's been really productive too. But I think I've seen different leaders do different things on their IPA, which is, I think, interesting.
Yeah.
You know, Melissa teaches on it and power hours and all that. So.
Yes. You just find what works for you. And this is the whole thing. There's not I love this about Plexus. There's not one way to do Plexus successfully. Right. You will meet jewel ambassadors that have done it all different ways. They're all successful for them. And this is what I want to tell you. Don't be scared to take this chunk out from this leader and this chunk out from this leader and develop your own way. I didn't say this when we were talking earlier, but people say often, like, how did you get started in a business? Like, who trained you? How did that work? How did you get involved right away at the beginning? How did you get okay. I did not have anybody to train me. No one. There was no one to train me. My sponsor she's a discount ambassador. She signed up for the discount, and I think I was her first or second ambassador. She had no idea how to do the business. She didn't know how to train or where to find training. I had no one local that was doing it. There were no jewel ambassadors in my area at all. I was one of the first jewel ambassadors here. So, like, not real developed teams in the Tulsa area. So I literally just went on YouTube and started finding YouTube videos. And Sonia Dudley trained me. That's who trained me. She didn't know me, but she trained me. I watched her videos religiously. And then she impacted me huge at that first leaders retreat. I went up and talked to her and told her, like, you're the reason that I can even be here, because without you, I would have had no idea. So I think a big piece of this is to not make excuses and blame people for not being trained, because you have to take some of that responsibility on. Nobody knows you better than you know yourself. So you're going to connect with somebody that you're watching, and you just go and watch more of their videos. So if you love Melissa Eichenhorst, go watch her. If you love Tamara Holloway, go watch her. Or if you love Helen McFadden, go watch her. But find somebody that you just gel with. See, I could listen to Sonia Dudley all day long. I love her Southern accent. I mean, I could just listen to her. And I loved what she said in her approach. And so I just connected. Now, I've branched out from Sonia. I still love her, but I branched out now. I watch different people. But go find somebody that you identify with and you like their style, and then duplicate that style, and you'll be successful.
I love what you just said about how it's not anyone's responsibility, because when I signed up, my upline wasn't as active. She's senior Ruby now, but she just wasn't equipped with what I was looking for, because I basically was ready to, like, power through, and I had 150 people wanting the products, this and that. And so I read Eric Worre GoPro, and the first thing he says is drop your upline. Don't hold your upline responsible for your progress and your future. And as soon as I really like get that into my heart, I no longer felt that anyone else was responsible for my progress, my business. And so everything else that I receive from my upline now, and Heather, our diamond upline, and Jen, and anyone else, sideline sisters, it's a gift. It's not like someone owes me something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a mindset shift, though. Like, it was like I started in being like, why is no one training me? Why do I not know what to do? And in reality, it was like, I needed to go do what you did. And I did. I listened to Sonia Dudley on the reg. And I was like, all right, Sonia, me and you, we're going to do this.
But, I feel like that has made both of us stronger leaders, because when I literally say all the time, I feel like I built the track to the top with hammer and nails. Like, I just did it. Like, I did it myself, and it made me stronger. It made me more resilient. Like, I just wasn't stopping. Like, I have too much invested in this whole thing. Now I really value training. I think training is something that every leader should do. And so I make training videos now, and I train my team. And every time I hold an opportunity event, I always follow it with the training, because I think it's valuable. But I think it's valuable because I didn't have it. I realized the deficiency there. So Yeah, but it is everybody's responsibility to show up. You got to show up to go up. So, you know, get to those events. And if you don't have an event near you, start your own event. And if you aren't equipped to do that yet, then get on and start watching training videos. There's a way. There is a way.
Where there's a will, there is a way.
Absolutely.
What other questions do y'all have? I'd love to hear what else y'all have. I know Andrea's on here, and she's a teacher.
Yes, I'm a kindergarten teacher. 9 years.
Yay!
So yes, your words have really touched my heart. Very inspiring and exactly what I needed to hear tonight. So,
well, let me tell you something. I want to tell you that this is when you are going to explode your business in the summer. So
yes,
do it. Okay.
Yes.
And there's a misconception, and I've heard it in network marketing, not just in Plexus, and it's a misconception that summer is slow. It isn't slow unless you decide it's going to be. My last 2 summers in Plexus have been explosive. My best friend went to convention as a senior gold ambassador. She hit Ruby in July, and she hit senior Ruby in August. Like, explosive growth because she had the time to work her business more than ever before. So use your time wisely this summer, and don't let anybody tell you the summer's slow. It is a bunch of bullshit. It's not true.
I told her that. We're going to do her first sip and see. It's not going to be slow for you. She's in her prime of her momentum.
yes.
No, you go, girl, and you share with everybody who will listen. I have some ambassadors on my team who are former students. Yes, I'm not old. Former students. I have parents. I have colleagues. So, you know, the sky's the limit as a teacher.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Fun. Okay, questions? Type in Stoli. Oh, you're muted, love. Hold on. Do you need me to unmute you? Okay, you unmuted.
There you go. Is that better? Yeah. Sorry, somebody's screaming a little bit. So, but I guess how, like you say that there's no slow months, or I guess everybody does have slow months, but how, like, I feel like I have a ton of fence sitters right now, and I have been following up with them and messaging them. Do I just keep doing that, or is there anything else that I can do, just kind of go the extra mile, or anything else that I should be doing, I guess, because I feel like I've had a slow month, I guess.
Well, you're not alone. I call May the second September. September has been routinely slow for me. I'm going in this year going, September's not going to be slow in 2016. But it's a mindset, and May has not been like the most fruitful month for a whole bunch of people. You're not alone. So don't feel like you're the only person that's having a rough May. You're not alone. Numbers are just down. And part of that is, honestly, people ask why. And that, I think it's because a lot of people have graduations right now. People are finishing up with school with their kids. Teachers are trying to get out of school. There's so much going on in May, and their sports are coming to an end and all of that stuff. I just think like people have different priorities in their health, but it's going to pick back up in June. I think June's going to be incredible, absolutely incredible. I would encourage you to keep reaching out, and you're probably going to think I'm nuts, but the fact that you said you had fence sitters is pretty exciting. Having fence sitters is awesome. Like, I have 10 fence sitters right now, and I love having them because that means somebody is watching, and I know they're watching because they're engaging with me in conversation. So that's actually a really good thing. And as soon as you lose the fence sitter, you go get another one. You should always have people sitting on the fence. If you don't have people in that seat rolling around, then you're in trouble. So keep adding fence sitters, and don't worry, they will come. Consistency is the key. Consistency.
Okay, so just keep following up and doing my thing, I guess.
You know what?
Because I've sent like 3 people join instructions, and I'm like, why aren't they joining? Like, what do I say now? You know?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what to say. This is exactly what I use, and it works really well. You just say, hey, you know, you keep being on my mind. I'm so excited for you to join me. And I'm wondering, what is holding you back? Ask them those words. What is holding you back? Because if it's money, you can meet that objection. If it's time, you can meet that objection. If they're worried about products, if they have questions, you can meet the objection. But if you don't know what's holding you back, but just ask them, what is holding you back?
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's a good word. We have a question from Jamie. Can you see
Okay.
what she typed?
I didn't, but I'm going to push on the chat. Okay. What do you tell your ambassadors to get encouraged when wanting to give up? What kind of motivation were you able to give them to remind them that they could do it? Well, you know, I don't know that I have the best answer for this, but I'm going to just tell you what I from my heart, what I say. You cannot make people catch this vision. You cannot talk people into doing Plexus that are dead set on not doing it. So embrace the people who want it. Don't worry about the people who don't. I'm not telling you to just leave them behind, but if someone says the words, I am discouraged all the time, they are choosing that discouragement. So you can offer to help them. You can ask them the questions like, well, what can I do to help you not be discouraged? You know, what are the things that you're struggling with? You can ask them thinking questions so that you can provoke them to really dig deep. But ultimately, you're not going to talk somebody into doing this business who's dead set on not doing it. And white lines are a huge question I get all the time. Like, well, how do you deal with white lines? Guys, if you have 10 white lines, imagine how many white lines I have. The attrition rate in network marketing is about 35%, but I'm going to be honest with you. As a Jewel Ambassador, it's higher than that. That is why you have to constantly be growing. You cannot ever stop personally sponsoring ambassadors. You know, my goal is to go silver every single month. I don't always meet it, but sometimes I exceed it. So it all balances out in the wash, but you have got to constantly be encouraging your team to sponsor, and you personally have to be sponsoring because they're watching you. If you don't think that your team is watching you, you are I have people on my team that will say to me, oh, you sponsored Ford this month. And I'm like, how did you know that? They keep track when I welcome them on team page. So they're watching you. If you're encouraging, they will be encouraging. So keep the positivity. If you're positive, you're going to influence the other people to be the same way. I see we have a whole bunch more down here in the chat.
Add on to that really, really quickly, though. I feel like the biggest thing that I've taken away from just recent training is you have to be the rock star that you want on your team. Mm-hmm. I feel like there are people that are saying, if I could just find that one person to take me to the top, if I could just find a runner. I have 10 people on my team and they're all wholesale customers, or one person signed up to be a runner and I just need my runner. And I say to them, and I feel like everyone needs to hear this, if you're not constantly recruiting, if you're not being an outstanding rock star on our team, on your team of your upline, you're not going to necessarily attract those people. There are people out there that are looking at different MLMs, looking for different people's teams to join, and they want to be with a runner themselves. So you can't sit back and just wait for a runner to happen. You have to be the ultimate rock star.
It has always been my goal to outdo everyone on my team. And I don't mean that in a flighty way, like a hotty-totty, like I'm amazing. That's not what I mean, but my goal is always to have $1,000 in PV. Always. That is what I do. Even as the Diamond Ambassador, I want $1,000 in PV, and I don't mean I'm purchasing $1,000. I mean, I have customers always. As I filter them into Ambassador, I'm getting more customers. I'm always replenishing my customer base. I'm always adding to my Ambassador base. And it's important that you do that, because if you are not your own rock star, how are you going to train these other people to be the rock star? They're looking to you. They're not going to duplicate someone that's not a rock star, or if they do, then they're duplicating someone that isn't doing it right. So when I say to my team, like, I post on Facebook twice a day and you should be doing that, I have to be doing it. They're watching to see if I'm doing it. And if I'm not, then they're going to duplicate whatever it is I'm doing. Oh, well, she missed 3 days, so it's not that big of a deal. I still post on Facebook every single day, twice a day, about Plexus, every day. And you know what? I still have a lot of friends. They haven't all defriended me. They haven't all blocked me. So, they're still watching. And I still have a very active warm market. That's something else that I just feel like I need to share with you guys. I hear all the time, well, my warm market is cold. That is not true. That is lies from the devil, okay? Your warm market is as warm as you are, okay? If you're interacting with people, your warm market is warm. People are watching you that you have no idea are watching you. They are. And the reason they haven't joined you yet is because they have not convinced themselves to join you. So know this, your warm market is never cold, ever, ever, never. And if you're constantly adding more friends to your Facebook page all the time, then your warm market is always even warmer. So, I can go online and say, I'm going to give away 3 packs of Slim, and I will have people today that have never, ever messaged me, or I have never messaged, come up and say they want it.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to test your warm market, is to just give away, like, say, I'm going to send out, some packs of Slim, comment below if you want one. By the way, that's still compliant. I've actually researched. So you can still say that. You can still say, hey, I'm going to give away, you can give away a trial, and you can give away packs of Slim. You cannot require them to purchase anything or do anything to earn it. But you can just say, hey, I'm going to give away some Slim, or I'm going to give away a trial. Just there's a lot of, not so much clarity with that right now, but that is actually something I've researched. So you're safe to do that. It's still compliant. And it's a good way to check your warm market and see who is watching that you never knew.
Thank you, doll. Okay, so Amanda has some questions.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Amanda, we can't hear you.
Is she muted?
No. Technology's hard. I know. I'm sad too. You and I are making the same face, Kristine. Like, that's funny.
Trying to help you.
I know.
Can you type out your question in the in that area, or is it too long?
Good idea, Steph. I had mentioned that earlier, but she said that she could get the audio maybe.
If you're muted, if you're talking and you don't know that you're muted, go to your settings on your iPhone, and in there, like on the little apps where you can like turn off the notifications and stuff, you have to turn on the voice for Zoom, because I was always talking and it was never working. So that's what I had to turn on. You have to like go in your settings and turn on the voice.
I think she's on a computer though.
It looks like she's on a computer. Okay, why don't you just type them in? Can you type it in the thing? Yeah.
Okay. While she's typing in her question, I have just a real quick one. When
Wait,
you
can I
were,
just say something? This is Stephanie Santiago, and she's going senior gold tonight.
we're trying. One thing I did want to like hone in on is when you started to talk about traveling to your legs that were outside of where you're at. I am definitely in Texas, but some of my team is in East Texas, some of them are in New York, and some are in Georgia. Now, they haven't developed to where they're full strength yet, but my New York girl is on fire, and when I say that there is no Plexus in that town, and we are literally, the board to Canada is in my mom's hometown. So the advantages that I would have getting up to that area would be huge. Do you think that it would be too much? Do you think that it would be beneficial, I should say, with ROI and everything, to go out there with her just being like a team of 2? Because I'm concerned that if I wait too long, then I'm, you know what I mean? I might miss that opportunity. But if I go right now, maybe there's not enough people that would come if I did an event.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you. You said she's on fire, so you need to set a goal with her. You need to say, like, I'm just going to throw this out. When you have 10 people on your team, I will come. Because then you know that financial, you're really doing like a financial sacrifice and going. So I wouldn't go with just 2 people. It would require like a certain amount. And I would say you have to have X amount of people at the meeting. Like we've got to have 15 people committed to being there, because otherwise you're going to want to go back again, and you will have just been there. And financially, as a senior gold, you're not going to be financially able to probably travel like every other month there. So you want to make sure it's worth your while. Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly. I was just kind of nervous about it because she was saying something about, well, if you come up at the end of summer, I really think that, we could get a good group together. But I was thinking, well, how about over the holidays, like when everybody's off of work and out of school, and, you've had a little bit more time to kind of push that business. And that way it could be, I guess you could say, it would make a little bit more sense for me too on that hand. Okay.
Yeah, I think end of summer is actually pretty good, because that will give her time, unless she can get 10 people faster. I mean, I think that would be really good timing for you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Do you have any tips, Kristine, for helping Santi go or Stephanie go senior gold tonight?
How many points are we missing?
Right now I'm at 219. I had a few drop off about an hour ago. So we were forecasted at 239, but now it's dropped down to 219. So I'm thinking it's going to be next month, to be honest.
Are you going to be at convention?
Yes, I sure will.
Well, way to go, sister. That's
Woohoo!
right there. I mean, you're just going to, oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you to go. I wouldn't stress out. I have to tell y'all, I'm just going to be honest with you. I am one of these people that it is against my religion to promote on the last day. It stresses me out. My team knows it. I'm like, do not try to promote on the last day. I will hurt myself. No. So you got to be feeling a lot of stress. Over 31 points. That's a lot of points to gain. But I don't know how your team is structured. So if you can go find 7 people to order, you can get it going on. You can get it done. But I'm impressed you're even on the Zoom if you're trying to go senior gold, honestly. I would be scramble.
I know you have permission to jump off the Zoom. Too.
I've been messaging and multitasking and taking notes. I totally did not want to miss this call with you. So,
well, yeah, I can't wait to meet you at convention. I'm excited.
All right, Amanda, I'm sorry I didn't mean to steal that little spotlight. All your question.
Okay, I wanted to give up. I have a lot of health problems, and when I post good things about what Plexus has done, when I try to get people to join, they say yeah, but oh, somebody that I didn't want to join. Well, I've never discouraged anyone from joining, unless I thought they were only going to order Slim for the rest of their life. If they were going to only order Slim, then I probably wouldn't have encouraged them to be an ambassador. But based on like their personality or something, I've never discouraged someone from being an ambassador, because this is what I'm going to tell you. Plexus may very well change their life and change their focus and change their personality for the better. And I just feel like everybody deserves a shot to be an ambassador. They may end up not being a good ambassador, but we won't know until they are one. So I wouldn't discourage them. I would just embrace them for who they are. They may drive you crazy. I don't know what the situation is. They may drive you crazy and ask you questions like 400 times a day. And in that situation, you need to point them toward the information instead of giving them the answer, so that they stop asking you those questions over and over again. And I'm really just trying to read your mind. That may not be the case, but I've had these ambassadors that just want to question me about everything. I just say, this is where you need to go to find this information. Like, what is the number for customer service? You'll need to go to the website and find that yourself. Or what is the main ingredient in Slim? You're going to need to go, here's where you find it. And they'll eventually stop being as needy. I also don't answer them immediately, because they find they have to wait. And sometimes if they have to wait, then they'll go find it themselves. They become more proactive. So as far as your health issues and the weight loss thing, people are funny. They see Plexus as, some people see Plexus as claiming to be a miracle. And I always say Plexus is a tool. It's a tool for health. It's a tool for weight loss. If you are eating cakes, candy, and McDonald's every day while taking Plexus and expecting to lose weight, you're probably not going to be very successful doing that. But if you are exercising, you are drinking your water, you're eating real food every day while you're taking your Plexus product, you're probably going to be pretty successful at it. So I come at it from a health aspect now. I'm not saying I never talk about weight, but I really talk about how when you realize how unhealthy you are and you get your body in balance, the weight loss kind of just comes with. So I wouldn't focus so much on what other people are saying as much as I would just meet their objections and saying, you know what, this is what Slim can do. This is what ProBio 5 can do. This is what BioCleanse can do. And instead of kind of playing into their comments, I would instead meet their objection with what our products can do and how they can help whoever the person is and whatever the issues are.
That was an amazing answer.
You're really good for my ego. I just want you to know.
I'll call you every day. Like, I think you are and how amazing I think you are. Ashley, do you have another question, honey?
Yes.
No, that's fine.
So do you cold message? What do you say, like, when you were really building your business, did you cold message a lot? I'm having issues with cold messaging. I have like cold message anxiety right now.
Okay, so is it fear? Is that
okay?
I mean, I want to figure out what the root of the problem is, and then I'll address that.
So I've always had like fear over cold messaging people because I guess I don't want to bug them. I don't want to be the crazy Plexus lady, which obviously I already am, or I wouldn't even be on this call. So I was doing it for like 2 weeks, like hardcore, several people a day, and literally in 2 weeks, out of probably 50 or more people, I had 2 people message me back and say no. All the others, like, no one even messaged back.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some statistics because it'll help you with your anxiety over cold messaging. Mm-hmm. In network marketing, this is across the board, it's not just Plexus, okay? In network marketing, 80% of close the deals, okay, people that join as a customer or an ambassador, happen between the 7th and 12th contact. 80% join you 7th to 12th contact. So if you've only messaged with them like 3 or 4 times, you're not even hitting that 80% yet. There are so few people that commit to you or want to do it with you in the first couple messages. So the people that are not responding to you, this is the follow-up. This is what you're going to say. This is the way I follow up. When I have a cold message, they don't respond to me. You can tell they've read it because their little picture shows up, but they didn't respond at all. This is what you're going to say. I would wait like 5 days. And then I would say, oh my gosh, Jackie, I hope I did not offend you with my passion for Plexus. I just know how life-changing A, products, B, opportunity, whatever, however you've led with it. I just know how life-changing it could be for you and how life-changing it's been for me. And I would feel guilty if I did not reach out to you. So please let me know if I have offended you. That is not at all, what I was trying to do. And I will tell you, 80% of the time, that person is going to respond because they don't want you to think that you've offended them. So that's the way you respond. You follow up with that cold message with I hope I didn't, offend you. And they will come back. And sometimes they'll say, I'm not interested. This is a really important thing. I trained on this last week, actually, at a local event. No does not mean no. No means not right now. So you don't ever give up. Even if they said no, I'm not telling you to go follow up again because that's annoying. But you're going to wait 6 months and then you're going to come back and you're going to follow up again. So no does not ever mean no. It just means not now. And if you knew, let's just put this in perspective. If you knew that you had the cure for cancer, which Plexus does not cure or treat any disease or condition, but let's just say you had the cure for cancer and nobody believed you, how many times would you follow up to tell somebody what you had? you would never stop following up. We don't have the cure for cancer, but we have life-changing products that will change the lives of other people, and it's our job to tell them, because if we don't tell them, somebody else is going to. So you just have to get really thick skin, and you cannot be tied to their response. Whatever they say, it is okay, because it's not personal against you. Maybe it's just not the right time for them. So I hope that helps. Cold messaging is nerve-wracking. It's very outside comfort zone for every person. I don't know of anybody who's like, I can't wait to cold message. Maybe Tamara Holloway, she loves cold messaging. But most people are really intimidated by it, because what's going to happen 90% of the time, or you fear is going to happen, is rejection. And so that's why you're freaked out. And you just can't be tied to the response. You just have to laser focus and be like, and here's the other thing. I've heard this is a really good tip. I have an ambassador that uses this tactic. She cold messages right before bed. And then she turns off her iPad or computer or whatever and goes to sleep. And that way she's not like tied to, are they going to respond? Are they not going to respond? She just goes to bed. And then if there's a response there the next morning, there's one. And if there isn't, there isn't. But she's not sitting around with anxiety waiting for that response. So it works really well for her.
That's a good idea. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
I can see a bedtime challenge, 7 p.m. cold messaging. Okay, if you don't do business hours, because I did not business hours, I'm actually going to have to do business hours, because I would work, 13, 15-hour days, because we're always near our phone and stuff. Like, surely you have hours where you're like, I'm not going to work, or days, right? You work 20. Okay, well, you are built of some kind of clock, because I've done it for 2 years, and like, I just can't. Like, Shane was like, what are you doing?
Well, this is what I've done for my team. I told them when we came back from Jules training, I was so convicted at Jules training about business hours and, living the life of freedom we claim to have, but really not having freedom, all that stuff. I was so convicted. And I just I couldn't figure out why I was so opposed. And I think the reason I'm so opposed, there's a couple reasons to business hours. Number one, I want to be there for my team. They're the reason I'm where I'm at. I want to be there for them. I want to help them get where I am, and I'm willing to do that. Also, for 19 years, I was tied to a schedule. I had to be at school at a certain time. I had to be at lunch at a certain time. I had to wear certain clothes. I had to be, I've been scheduled my whole life, and I didn't want to say, okay, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to be available from noon to 3. I just didn't want to do that, because I'm locking myself into that time. And what I love about this is that I can get on my iPad when I get home from Jazzercise and check my messages and have an appointment or whatever. And my every day is different. It's based on what I want to do. So that's true freedom for me. But also, I don't want to tell my team, hey guys, I'm not available in the evenings because I'm with my family. Because if somebody really needs me, then I want to be there. So I don't check my messages around the clock, but if I check the message and it's something that I need to respond to, then I'll respond to right then. What I told my team is this. I told them I'm not going to set business hours, but I'm going to set boundaries. I no longer answer questions that can be found in Google search or can be found on the website. So if you ask me a question like, what's the anti-inflammatory in Slim called, I'm not answering you. There's not going to be a response. Okay? So they can go find that. And guess what? They have stopped asking me those kind of questions because they know I'm not responding anymore. What's the number for customer service? I actually had somebody go put that on my team page. Like the week after I set boundaries, I was like, you're kidding me. It's on the website. I mean, it's going to drive me. I'm like, why are you asking that question? So I just don't entertain questions that can be found. And I told my team, I said, if you are asking me a question or you're upline a question, and it's like, you're like, whatever the question is, I want you to think to yourself, can I Google this? Do I want them to Google it or can I Google it? That's the first question. And then the other question is, you're going to say to yourself, I wonder where they would find that information. And before you ask the question, you're going to go look there and you're going to see if you can find it so that you are becoming the leader that you see in your upline or whoever the person is that you go to. So I just feel like we as leaders have to train our team. And I apologized to my team. And I said, I'm so sorry that I have handheld you this whole entire time and I've spoon fed you. And it's done a disservice to everyone because I'm over here answering messages all day long that can be answered by yourselves. You know what I mean? So I've set that boundary. And the other boundary I set was when the whole back office thing was going on, where I was calling customer service 5 and 6 times a day. And I would be on hold for half an hour, 45 minutes. Then I would have to take care of the problem. Then I would have to message back to the person I was taking care of the problem for. Literally 5 hours a day, I'm on the phone with customer service, taking care of my team. And I just told them, and they would message me like 8 a.m. and they'd expect an answer by 10. And I just said, I have 24 hours from now on. 24 hours to make a call. And I'm going to make 1 call a day, and I'm going to take care of all the problems I can take care of. And if you tell me something that's going on after I've made the call, then you have to wait for the next call, because I cannot keep calling back and forth. So I think it's just having boundaries. And I'll tell you what, my life is totally different. It's totally changed. And I really have the freedom to be there for my family, the freedom to be there for my team when I can be there. And I don't feel guilty about either side. I don't feel guilty about my family. I don't feel guilty about, my business, because I'm working both of them to the best of my ability. And my family's very, pretty flexible. I have a 16 and a 10-year-old. So they're not like babies, which is great. And my husband's awesome. I mean, he's an Emerald Ambassador. He totally gets this. This is our livelihood. He wants to get retired soon. So he's all over me. Like, he asked me tonight, he's like, who are you doing the Zoom for? I'm like, oh, a friend of mine. He's like, nobody on your team? I'm like, nope, just helping somebody else that I love. So, he totally gets that. And it's just about setting, if you take care of your family, they will be so forgiving of the time you spend building your business. So I don't know if that helps you or not. I know, you said you want to set business hours, but I just couldn't do it.
I don't know. I haven't done it yet, and I got back from dual training 3 weeks ago, but I know that like on evenings where we go out to dinner, I'll just leave my phone now. And I'm, I have kind of a leaders thread, like my level 1 leaders, if you will, that I communicate with the most. And so I'll let them know, because if anyone on their team needs anything, then, they'll tell their team or whatever. And so I'll let them know kind of what's going on. But I mean, I definitely have been checking out more than I ever have before and getting better at that versus like always, because it's not accurate. It's not the freedom, and it's not how it should be. And I want people to want to get the Emerald, not be like, ew, she's always working. She's always on her phone. I don't want Emerald, that Lexus isn't worth that much. So I like the boundaries. I'm gonna process through that.
And I will tell you this, Nikki Hinkle, who's a diamond, she had a great suggestion. She said she turns off the notifications on her phone when they're out and about. So it's not dinging, it's not lighting up, and so she doesn't think she's missing something. You can also turn your phone on airplane mode. You want to have dinner, turn your phone on airplane mode, or turn it silent so that if somebody calls you, that you don't hear it.
No, I mean, we walk to dinner a lot, so I just leave it and then, come back, movies, whatever. I just feel like that at least gives me like a disconnect from my phone, because I work from home. When you work from home, it can get very like, when are you ever disconnected, But I like the boundaries.
Boundaries are good. They have worked very well for my team.
I like boundaries. I'll work on that. Ashley, did you have a question? You look like you might have a question. No? No question?
No, I feel like my questions are being answered as I hear other people asking questions. So I love the Zoom. It's very informative. So thank you.
Jamie said that Stephanie has trained her to be self-sufficient. And I think that that's a huge key. Like Kimmy and I and, the leaders, it's kind of like, let people kind of ask a question, then wait a minute, see if they figure out for themselves. You don't always have to be responding every 10 seconds, People will figure it out if they need it bad enough.
Absolutely. And another thing that I did with boundaries is I told my team, if you're in a hurry to get an answer and I'm not working fast enough for you, then you'll need to go ahead and take care of it. I'm not responsible for everybody else's business. I got 4,000 people on the team. I cannot fix everybody's issues. Like a perfect example is entered orders right now. I cannot message 4,000 people and say, hey, you've got an entered order. Can't do that. So you've got to be responsible and take some responsibility for yourself. It'll actually help in leadership. But I just tell them, if I'm not working fast enough for you, if we're not getting it done fast enough, then that's a cue that you'll need to take over. You'll need to do it. And I believe you can. I believe you're capable. So I have some really good leaders. I am super excited to have like a whole fleet of jewels. I cannot wait because then my time will be so much more free. Before I got my first jewel, which was, let's see, Rebecca went emerald in March. So before March, it was just me and my husband. So I pretty much handled everything. But now I have 2 really strong leaders that have access to the emerald line and can really lead. And it's freed me up a lot. It's taken half of my load. So that's been a good thing.
Yeah, I can't wait for Kimmy to be emerald. She'll
And Kimmy can't wait either.
When is that happening?
I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I set my goal for July so that I could be in Hawaii this year. But, I mean, it's one of those things like we shall see. So, I mean, I'm obviously going to try my hardest to get there, but it'll happen, when it's going to happen is how I feel like it with it. So.
Well, good. Goals are so important. People ask all the time about, is this a good goal? Is this not a good goal? And I just encourage you that if you set your mind to it, you can make it happen. I promoted Senior Ruby to Emerald in 2 months. So I know it can be done.
Wow.
I know it can be done. So you sitting here, I don't know when you went Senior Ruby, but I'm telling you, 2 months from now, you could be Emerald. So you just draw that line in the sand and work it, girl.
I believe 100% she'll be in Hawaii. Like 100%.
This is my second month. Yeah, because I gave myself 4 months to go emerald by July, by the cutoff.
Can do
What
it.
happens after convention? Don't you think like it's different? It's a good thing that you have convention because
It's good.
it's going to be
Oh, I can't wait. I was so pregnant last year I couldn't go. So like my doctor's like, nope, you're not flying. I was like, ugh, okay.
It will change your business. My best friend, I know I keep talking about her, but she's like my power partner.
Oh, so cute.
She'd never been to another event other than Super Saturday. She didn't go to Leaders Retreat. And so convention last year was her first big corporate event. And when we came home, there was like a switch that flipped. I mean, she was already into the business. She already wanted it. I just walked away from my teaching job. I mean, she clearly wanted it. But she would be driving down the street like the week we got home from convention and she would just start crying. She'd like look over at the car next to her and be like, they need Plexus. She just was so in the moment. She says all the time, she said, I feel like I was baptized in Plexus. Like you just leave there so refreshed, so refined, so motivated. It is incredible. I felt like I was at a revival for a whole week. Like I cannot wait to get there. I'm going early so I can rest up and like power through the whole week. I cannot wait for convention. I'm so excited. And whatever you all do, every one of you, y'all need to get to Leaders Retreat. It is so awesome. Work for that. It will change your business as well. Incredible.
It was the best. I was a silver. I had 3 people on my team and I was like, what am I doing here? And then I was gold at convention last year, y'all. So,
how do you get to Leaders Retreat? Do you just pay to go? It doesn't matter. Like
you have to. Yeah, you definitely have to earn it. Like not just anybody can go to Leaders Retreat.
It is a contest similar to what we did for convention, very similar in the point structure and everything. And let me tell you something. If Rachel can earn it as a silver ambassador in 2014, anybody can earn it. I was not gold when it started. I was silver when the Leaders Retreat contest started and said, I will be going. And furthermore, I will earn it by the end of July. And I earned Leaders Retreat in 2 months as a branded gold ambassador. I know you can go if you want it, but you have to have a strategy. So get on the Frank's list and figure out who you're contacting. And tomorrow it starts. It will be retro to June 1st. So every person you add to the welcome pack will count. New customers will count. PV will count. Get focused and go for it. I need to go find some customers right now. I'm feeling panic. I need some more customers. I got to get my PV up.
That $5,000 shopping spree.
It's funny. Everyone just assumes that I earned the check because I'm a diamond. I didn't earn the check at convention. I earned black tie, but I didn't earn the check. I didn't earn the platter. And I'm okay with it because my only goal was to get my best friend on that emerald stage. That's all I cared about. And she's going to be on that emerald stage, and I'm going to be bawling. She will be bawling too, but that's all I cared about. So
Aww.
I don't really care about Bloomingdale's. I just care about my team getting with me. If my team is at Leaders Retreat with me, my heart is full and happy. So I probably won't earn Bloomies, and I'm okay with it because I'm not being like, but if I really wanted to go spend $5,000 at Bloomingdale's, I probably could as a diamond, you know? So I'm just saying.
Though. I mean, no, it's just very true.
I mean, I'm just looking at it real, you know, a lot. My husband even said that, like, don't kill yourself. You know, if it's more important for you to help your team, then help your team, because if you really want to go spend whatever you want on a Louis Vuitton, then you just go spend it. So I'm not having permission to go buy one. I don't know.
I feel like I didn't get the gala, but I'm just so excited because 10 of our team members are coming to convention.
See, that's all that matters.
I don't even care. I'm like, whatever. Like, I can't. Last year I went and there was no one from our team that was there. There was me and Shane rocking it.
I know it's my first, so this is my first year because, like I said, last year I was too pregnant, and I have 5 team members going, so I'm like ridiculously excited, like even more excited.
It's the biggest thing about convention. It's and Leaders Retreat. It's not like everybody's so into the prizes, and let's just all get real about the prizes, okay? You don't earn the prizes yourself. Your team earns those prizes for you. So for me, it's not like a personal accomplishment. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Absolutely.
I am so humbled that my team has worked this hard, that I get to do something fun because of their work. It's not on my own. And so for me, it's not like, if it was me working for it, that'd be a whole different thing because I'm super competitive with myself. But it's my team that was doing that. So I am, the true gift to me is not $5,000 or whatever it is, $3,000 and jewelry platter. It's my team in Vegas with me, all of us growing together, because ultimately that's what's going to help everybody succeed, is everybody being present at the event. So
y'all are gonna make me cry talking about Vegas because I don't get to go.
well, you know what I know? Your team is going to bring it back to you. You will feel so a part of it. So don't cry, but make plans to be there next year for sure.
Absolutely.